Hey guys, Brandon Gomez here, back again with another video, and welcome to part 2 of rating every confirmed 2023 NASCAR Cup Series paint scheme. Just like the previous part, before we get started with the video proper, I want to address that some teams opted not to change their paint schemes for this season. So, let's get through them really quick. Kevin Harvick's gear wrench paint scheme remains an 8 out of 10. And Michael McDowell's Love's paint scheme remains a 7 out of 10. With those two out of the way, now we can get started. First up, we have Austin Dillon's Bass Pro Shops Tracker Off-Road paint scheme. I like the colors and the patterns that they chose for this paint scheme. It's got camo on the roof and side of the car, and then you also have a really dark green with day-glow orange. Or at least I think that's day-glow orange. I don't know. Anyway, great paint scheme, good color combination, good usage of patterns. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Brad Keselowski's Castrol Edge paint scheme. A big difference from last year's scheme. Last year's scheme was green and red with white trim. This one is black and white with green and red stripes. I'm gonna be honest, I like last year's scheme better. It looked a lot cleaner and was more simple. But this one looks good too. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Corey LaJoie's Celsius paint scheme. Mostly white, black roof, orange bumper. Bland paint scheme. 3 out of 10. Next up, we have Kyle Busch's Netspend paint scheme. This has a pattern of light blue and orange going down the side of the car. A white hood and a white bubble around the Netspend logo. I'm not sure how to feel about this color combination. Usually orange and blue is a good color combo, but with that shade of blue, I'm just not feeling it. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Chandler Smith's Quick Tie paint scheme. This scheme is mostly white with teal and dark red patterns on it. I feel like the scheme could use more of those teal and dark red patterns. There's just a little bit too much white on it. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Chase Briscoe's Mahindra Tractors paint scheme. At first glance, this may look like the same scheme as last year's, but if you look at the side skirt, it's got mud designs on it, which, in my opinion, brings the quality of the scheme up. I think last year I gave it a 7 out of 10. This year, I'm gonna bump it up. 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Chris Buescher's Castrol Edge paint scheme. This is the same paint scheme that Brad Keselowski is running. So, I'll give it the same rating that I gave Keselowski. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Christopher Bell's DeWalt paint scheme. I like the design on this one. It's got yellow on the top with black going around the sides. Nice design. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Michael McDowell's Quincy Compressors paint scheme. This scheme is mostly blue with black around the front wheel wells that fades into the blue. Good design they have going there. And a good color combination too. The black and the blue go really well together. Black in any color goes well together. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Michael McDowell's Chicago Pneumatic paint scheme. This is essentially the same as the Quincy Compressors scheme, but with a few tweaks. And red instead of blue. As I said before, black and any color go well together. And I like how they have the black sort of fading into that red. Nice design. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Todd Gilliland's Quincy Compressors paint scheme. It's the same as McDowell, so we'll give it the same rating. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Todd Gilliland's Chicago Pneumatic paint scheme. Same as McDowell's, again, so we'll give it a 6 out of 10. Same rating as McDowell's. Next up, we have Todd Gilliland's SpeedyCash.com paint scheme. An improvement over the last SpeedyCash.com paint scheme they ran with Anthony Alfredo. That one was, Yeah, not good. This one's a lot better. Although the design may be a little funky, it's a lot cleaner, it looks a lot better. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Todd Gilliland's Generator Skills paint scheme. Mostly red, with white designs on it. But it still looks decent enough. Simple but decent. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Ryan Preece's Haas paint scheme. This scheme reminds me a lot of Cole Custer's throwback from last year. That scheme was beautiful, and this one is as well. Holy hell. What a beautiful scheme. 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Ryan Preece's United Rentals paint scheme. Fairly decent paint scheme. Mostly blue with white at the ends of the car. Neat design. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Ty Dillon's Ferris Mowers paint scheme. Good color combination on this one. I sound like a broken record here, but black and any color go really well together. And the red and black on this car are no different. It's got red at the top and around the back wheel well with black going around the side. Great design, great scheme. 7 out of 10. And for our final paint scheme of part 2, we have BJ McLeod's Celsius paint scheme. It's the same scheme as Corey LaJoie's, so we'll give it the same rating. 3 out of 10. And that concludes part 2 of rating every confirmed 2023 NASCAR Cup Series paint scheme. What do you think? Do you think some of these should have been given a higher rating? Do you think some should have been given a lower rating? How would you rate these paint schemes? Let me know in the comments below. I asked this in my previous video and I'll ask it again. Should I rate the Xfinity and Truck Series paint schemes too? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of me, be sure to follow me on Instagram and join my Discord server. Links to both are in the description down below. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel for more motorsports content. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it for me. Peace.